After Jordan's departure and Kobe Bryant, the most crucial piece of the new Bulls under your command is the Spurs' first-round pick. If you can successfully get Duncan according to history, the new Bulls in the new season will have the capital to wave goodbye to the Lakers with Jordan and Sharks. At this time, David Robinson was already praying in his heart, please don't get the first pick. The Spurs head coach Popovich was so nervous that his hands were sweating. But what he feared came true when David Robinson randomly reached into the mailbox and randomly pulled out an envelope. He was completely dumbfounded. Oh my God, he actually won the first pick. The number 1 pick in 1997 fell into the hands of the San Antonio Spurs. However, this unprotected first pick had already been sent to the Chicago Bulls. When David Stern personally announced the first pick belonged to the Chicago Bulls, Shaolin, who was sitting in the first row, Tracy McGrady and Ben Wallace all jumped up excitedly waving their fists. Even Kobe, who was sitting in the back row with his sister, Kobe Bryant, sitting in the back row, also excitedly punched and shouted. In the new season, he will team up with Tim Duncan of Wake Forest. He definitely has the strength to compete with Lakers Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal. Only the new owner of the Bulls has a slight smile on the corner of his mouth with a calm and composed look. He always maintains a posture of strategizing. What's there to be surprised about? After all, he is a time traveler. At this moment, watching David Robinson really won the first pick. Popovich fainted on the spot. You felt a sense of joy in your heart. The feeling of being like God, overlooking all beings and controlling everyone's joys and sorrows is really cool. On the other side, in Las Vegas, in a Royal Underground casino, Michael Jordan, who didn't go to the draft scene, as an old gambler, and Tyson, the boxer, were fighting fiercely at the gambling table. In the noisy casino, a man's scream suddenly sounded. Oh my God! The Chicago Bulls actually got the first pick. Jordan's eyes suddenly froze, and 2 golden lights shot out of his pupils. That kid was really right. The 4th one to come on stage was Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers. Iverson's luck was also quite good. He drew the 2nd pick for the team. In this way, the first 4 picks in the 1997 draft were taken by the Chicago Bulls, Philadelphia Sixers, the Vancouver Grizzlies, Boston Celtics, and the later picks were not much different from what you remembered. He also used the system's S-level lottery technique. The Milwaukee Bucks, who were supposed to pick 10th to the 9th pick. This first-round pick was packaged and given to the Bulls. In this way, you got the first pick and the 9th pick. It was a foregone conclusion to get Duncan and McGrady. Next came the official draft session. When David Stern walked on the stage again, took the list handed over by the Bulls, there was a flush on his old face. In the 1997 NBA draft, the Chicago Bulls selected at the first pick Tim Duncan from Wake Forest University. In the cheers and applause, Tim Duncan was the first to come out of the green room and stood in the center of the stage. He put on a baseball cap with the Bulls logo and hugged, and took a photo with David Stern. At this time, on the big screen behind the stage, there was a short video of about 4 to 5 seconds, showed all the highlights of Tim Duncan's 4 years. The violent alley-oop dunks and brutal blocks. Even a one-man fast break dunk. All of this seemed to declare to the entire league that Tim Duncan, nicknamed the Flying Devil, was about to jump from the San Antonio Spurs and bring his talent to Chicago. After Tim Duncan hugged and took a photo with David Stern, he hugged you tightly, who came on stage. You patted Duncan on the shoulder, with admiration and respect in your eyes. Tim, I and the fans in Chicago welcome your arrival. This will be the place where your dreams take off. You will be the new king of Chicago, facing the new boss praise and expectations. Duncan touched his head, modestly and humbly. Boss, thank you for your compliment. I can only say that you are really accurate. Coach Popovich on the sidelines. Seeing Duncan hugging and talking to you, it felt like as if his own son was stolen in front of him. He felt like he wanted to die. He wanted to find a crack in the ground and hide. David Robinson awkwardly walked off the court. He patted Popovich on the shoulder with full of apology. Coach, it's all my fault. Stop it, David. In the new season, I want you to beat the no 1 pick to convince me. Popovich clenched his fists tightly, with murderous eyes. Since I can't get it, then I will destroy him. In the center of the stage, David Stern's loud voice is still echoing. One rookie after another came out of the green room, stood in a row on the stage. The Chicago Bulls picked at the 9th pick in the first round chose Tracy McGrady from Auburn High School. Tracy McGrady, seeing that McGrady was also picked by the Bulls. Kobe, sitting in the back row, there was a sudden spark of fighting spirit in his eyes. Unexpectedly, this guy Tracy also went to the Bulls. If he plays small forward in the new season, it's okay. If he plays shooting guard, he can only be my substitute. Last summer, Kobe and T-Mac played in the Rock Park in New York. They had a match. They had a one-on-one match. Kobe, who was 1 year older than McGrady, only won the 21-point game, only won by 1 point. The first round of the draft ended, and then the second round. David Stern stepped down, and Adam Silver, the bald one, took his place. Adam Silver came up to announce the second round draft results. As soon as David Stern stepped down, he immediately asked the staff to invite you to the backstage. He had a deep conversation with your young boss from China, had a deep conversation. Mr. Hua, you are really a young hero. You traded Jordan for Duncan, and your goal was achieved. Back then, when David Stern heard that you traded Jordan, he was also shocked. He couldn't figure out which owner would dare to take Jordan lightly. In his opinion, such a person was either extremely shrewd or stupid to the extreme. However, now, seeing the Bulls use the Spurs' first round pick to draft the number 1 pick, Duncan, David Stern suddenly thought it was definitely the former. This young man from China seems to be really not simple. President, thank you for your compliment. The new season's Bulls will definitely surprise everyone. So, we can't do without your shrewd and capable president. Your support and reminder behind the scenes. When it comes to David Stern's contribution to the NBA, he is definitely a godfather and a giant. It is because of a series of reforms after he took office that made the NBA become a world-renowned basketball mecca. It's no exaggeration to say that, without David Stern, the NBA might have gone bankrupt long ago. The NBA can have its glory today. The two people who deserve the most credit are one is David Stern and the other is Michael Jordan. So you certainly know that Jordan and the Bulls in the 90s meant to the entire league. David Stern's series of support in secret also contributed to one of the external factors for the Bulls to win 5 championships. Without Jordan, would the Bulls owned by Mr. Jordan still be the defending champion? In the new season, my attention will focus more on the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks. With Jordan, the Lakers are the favorites to win the title. Not to mention Los Angeles is the second largest city in America. Not to mention the Knicks being in New York, which is my David Stern's favorite team. Facing David Stern, who is smiling but not happy. But you remained calm. You directly threw out the secret weapon prepared for him. I believe you know better than me how huge the NBA market in China is. In our country, has at least 200 million basketball fans. Your words made David Stern's eyes light up instantly. Mr. Hua, you want to use the Chicago Bulls to open the NBA market in China. It can't rely on you as a Chinese boss. I am afraid it's not enough. Seeing that the president was hooked, you said confidently, of course, within 3 years, Chicago will have a real Chinese basketball star, and starting at the MVP level. A Chinese star is also at the MVP level. David Stern was overjoyed. He dreamed of to introduce 1 or 2 high-quality Chinese players to deeply open up the Chinese NBA market. Now, when he meets such a fearless Chinese innovator, isn't this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? If you can really in the NBA develop an MVP-level Chinese basketball player, the stimulation to the entire Chinese fan market will be unprecedented stimulation, Mr. Hua. If you can really in 3 years develop an MVP-level Chinese basketball player, not only the Chicago Bulls will always be the favorite team in the league. I, David Stern, can guarantee you that you, as the boss, you can walk sideways in the entire league. You shook hands tightly with excited David Stern. Mr. Stern, maybe it won't take 3 years. You can see the results in the new season. This conversation with David Stern is not just your random talk. Actually, you have already had a plan to introduce Chinese players. It's just a bit troublesome to operate in China. But now with David Stern's full support, you have a 90% chance of success. The night after the draft, you hosted a dinner. You invited Duncan, McGrady, Kobe Bryant and Ben Wallace to invite the 4 new players to dinner. 21-year-old Duncan, 22-year-old Ben Wallace, 19-year-old Kobe, and 18-year-old Tracy McGrady. You know, in the previous life, in the 13 years from 1998 to 2010, they won 10 championships together. It's terrifying, are all under your command, and became the core of the Chicago Bulls. Looking at their youthful faces, and you are full of infinite expectations for the new season. Brothers, let's drink and eat tonight, and eat freely, let's get drunk. In the new season, you will all be starting point guards. Let Nash come, our Chicago Bulls. We will set off the youngest Red Storm in the league. As you said that, everyone was excited, but Tracy McGrady suddenly frowned. McGrady and Kobe are both shooting guards. How could we start together? You raised your eyebrows and asked Tracy with a smile, do you want to tell everyone your real height now? 203 centimeters barefoot, 205, and you play shooting guard. How shameless you are. Play small forward in the new season. Small forward, or just sit on the bench. Don't play tricks on me. Don't think I don't know your little tricks. You deliberately reported a height of 201, just to bully the little guys and score points. Tomorrow, come back to Chicago with me. Start off-season training on physical fitness and weight gain. I've arranged a nutritionist and a trainer for you. Before the new season starts, you must weigh 102 kilograms and body fat percentage to below 6%. After hearing your words, Tracy shuddered all over. He took a deep breath. It's not necessary to be so cruel. You cleared your throat with a serious face. Tracy, from today on I will be your exclusive physical trainer. Duncan, Kobe, and Big Ben all cast sympathetic glances at McGrady. But who knew your next words suddenly took a turn, making you do devil training during the off-season? It's a bit unreasonable. Well, as long as you can complete the training well, I'll give you $1,000 a day. Hearing that there was a $1,000 reward, Tracy's face instantly lit up with a smile. No, dear coach, I am full. I'll be right there. Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, and Ben Wallace all rubbed their hands with expectant faces. Boss, we have nothing to do during the off-season. Can we practice with Tracy? Don't get me wrong, we're not doing it for money, but purely to improve. Yeah. Boss, I just want to see the sun at 4 a.m. in Chicago. Seeing these guys scrambling to practice more, a satisfied smile appeared on your lips. On July 3rd, there were 5 days left before the start. After the new season's roster all reported to Chicago, a press conference was held immediately to welcome the new faces of the Bulls, and also held a jersey debut ceremony, which are no different from the previous players' numbers. Duncan chose number 21, Kobe Bryant still wore number 8, and T-Mac wore number 1. Except for that Steve Kerr, who scored the game-winning shot in the finals, the remaining 9 players all attended the jersey unveiling ceremony. The new Chicago Bulls in the new season have also completed a major overhaul. The regular rotation lineup was thus settled. Point guard Steve Nash, Steve Kerr, shooting guard Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, Del Curry, small forward Tracy McGrady, power forward Tim Duncan, Jermaine 1L, center Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace. In your opinion, the best part of this lineup is the double inside Wallace and Tim Duncan and Jermaine 1L, except for Ben Wallace, who is a pure blue-collar center. Duncan, 1L, and the Big Ben can play both power forward and center. Whether it's low post defense or lateral defense, they are all quite good. So, these 4 centers can be freely combined on the court, which are very useful. There are 2 players at the power forward position. The young and strong Nash starts, and the experienced Cole as a substitute. After all, he is not a pure point guard. He is more often he was a shooter in the Bulls' triangle offense system. At shooting guard, Kobe starts, and Ray Allen is on the bench. Allen and Del Curry are on the bench. It's a waste to let a historical three-point shooter like Ray Allen playing as a substitute is a bit of a waste. But in the starting lineup, there are already 2 scoring maniacs, Kobe and T-Mac. There wasn't enough ball possession. Young Ray Allen could shoot and drive, making him a bench player. He was definitely a strong contender for the best 6th man. Only the small forward position is a bit short of players. There is only one now, Tracy McGrady, who is transitioning from shooting guard. To put it bluntly, it's all Jordan's fault, which created an illusion for those young players. making those rookies around 2 meters tall want to be shooting guards. They always think small forwards are like Pippen, to be a supporting player. But think about it, wait until the summer league, you can definitely find 1 or 2 useful small forwards. The day after the press conference for the players' debut, you led everyone to the indoor basketball hall of Northwestern University, United Center. The arena was smashed by fans before, so you joined forces with the local government to spend $120 million to renovate and expand the arena completely. So during this off-season, the Bulls temporarily rented the basketball hall of Northwestern for the players to train. At the moment, on the basketball court, dressed in a suit, you, looking handsome and extraordinary, stand in the middle. 10 players are divided on your left and right. Your personal beautiful assistant Xiao Lin is standing behind you, plus 4 assistant coaches. The chief assistant is also the team's defensive coach, who was just found by Xiao Lin for you, Tom Thibodeau. At the same time, Xiao Lin has also specially equipped you with psychology and data analysis assistants. In this way, the Chicago Bulls' new season's coaching staff is basically in place. Guys, welcome to the Chicago Bulls family. From today on, we will be teammates fighting on the battlefield together. Maybe you don't know each other very well yet, but it doesn't matter. Next, let's get to know each other through basketball. There are exactly 10 people on the court now. Next, I will divide you into 2 teams and have a 5-on-5 intra-team match. You quickly divided the players into 2 teams. Then you smiled and said to your chief assistant, Tom Thibodeau said, Tom, I'll lead the red team, you take the blue team. Let's play until the first team to score 30 points wins. If the team you lead loses, they'll treat the whole team to a big meal tonight. How about it? Just as Tom Thibodeau shook his head in confusion, while the players were excited and cheering, you suddenly added, by the way, T-Mac won't eat.